Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. This is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be visiting 3 different households that are in my Winchester legacy and also in different Let's Plays I have. We're starting out with Blair and Percy. I've been wanting to play with them for a long time, so we're going to start there and then we'll move to Joel and Dahlia. And then to wrap it up, we'll play with Arielle and Rudy's household. So these are the 3 children of Finn and Leah if you follow along with my Winchester legacy. I'll also make sure to timestamp, each part so you can skip around if you want. But yeah, I'm so excited about this video. So starting out, I do want to show you guys their bunnies because I got them all different little outfits and they're so cute. They have like 5 or 6 bunnies and they're just so precious. Blair looks after them and has really high relationships with them, and they give her gifts, and they've been giving her a lot of cross-stitch patterns lately, which has been super nice. But yes, they're just here in the garden kind of saying good morning to the bunnies. It's a nice Sunday, so no one has to go to work or school, and they're just going to kind of hang out today. I really love this household because it's just very relaxed and laid back, and it just really focuses on quality time together. And, they don't really sit around a TV too much or go out too often unless it's like a hike through Glimmerbrook. So right now I'm just collecting gifts from all the bunnies and giving them gifts as well. I'm trying to discover all their gift preferences. I'm pretty good at guessing, but I definitely want to discover more of them. Bunnies definitely have to be one of my favorite animals in The Sims 4. They're just so adorable. I love seeing them all just hop around and check out the garden. It's so cute. I've been having Blair kind of work on her cross stitch a little bit more. So she sold a few of those, and then she did get a llama corn cross stitch from one of the bunnies this morning. So she's going to work on that. And a little bit later, we're actually going to give that as a gift to Piper because I think it's going to look so great in her room. But yeah, Blair loves to cross stitch. I think she's already maxed it out because she was so good at knitting that it kind of goes hand in hand. Also in this household, the paranormal skill that Percy uses maxed out really quick because of his spellcaster rank. So I think that's really cool that, this household I've been able to kind of get skills to go together and they just really work nicely. But a little bit later, I have Piper invite over her friends and they have a nice little time together. I'm trying to get her relationship with them up a little higher. I really want Piper to have these friends because they're all different occults, and I think that's really going to be good for her. It's probably going to be hard for Piper to make like normal friends or like human friends. Other than like her family and like her cousins, I don't know if she'll make many human friends, so I'm trying to get her to really bond with these kids here. And here I'm just having Percy summon Bonehilda to kind of help with the house while everyone's kind of doing their hobbies and things. But yeah, Piper and her friends are playing with the Don't Wake the Llama board game. I'm really excited to see Piper, grow her relationships with these other kids and kind of like grow up together maybe. I think that'll be really fun to watch. But then I decide to have Blair actually invite her friends over because, she had these friends since she was a child, and I just thought it would be nice for them to kind of catch up. And then Joel calls, which was kind of interesting because I'm going to be playing with him next. And the reason it's interesting is just because then when I play with Joel, actually Arielle calls, and then I play with her next. So I just thought it was funny. It was kind of neat that they all kind of check up on each other and see what they're doing and how they're doing and all that. So I thought that was really cute. But I also have Percy invite over Morgan a little bit later. So everyone's just kind of visiting with their, different groups of Sims. The way Blair was dancing here with her friend Edith made me laugh. She's so cute. Yeah, they're just dancing. Percy's trying to, socialize with Morgan, but it wasn't really working. I do notice this household is kind of glitched sometimes. All my households are at this point in one way or another. I noticed that each of them had so many different wishes to kind of like ask about each other's day or like give a hug or however, so I tried to really have the family socialize. I think eventually all the friends leave and they just have some quality family time. And this is when Blair gives Piper her gift and we hang it up on the wall and it looks so good in her room. So yeah, I just think it's adorable. It matches the colors perfectly. And Piper starts working on her homework and she's got her little dust bunny with her. I actually am trying to get her to kind of socialize with that dust bunny and build a friendship because I think it's so cute that they have real bunnies and then they also like don't want to neglect their dust bunny, or at least Piper doesn't. I'm sure Blair and Percy would rather it not be in the house, but Piper really has taken a liking to her own little dust bunny in her room. And I have a mod where you can actually create like self-made or homemade medicine. So Blair gives one to Percy because he has kind of like a rash going on, and he takes that and he's feeling a lot better. Blair is someone who loves to give gifts, and that's kind of her like love language or however. So I really enjoyed giving gifts to both Piper and Percy in this part. She loves to create like hand knitted or cross stitched items and like give it to her family as like a gift, and it just makes her happy to know that they have something that she made. So I thought that was really special. But Percy, you know, kind of says goodbye to Morgan, and Piper is finishing up her homework, but Blair comes in to kind of help her out since it is getting a little later and it is going to be a school night. She has school in the morning.
Klarsje verbeen, stoom, te reap. He be staan, he bow. Vermanoos,
And before Piper heads to bed, she goes ahead and feeds her dust bunny and says goodnight to it. And then here in a little bit, I have Blair and Percy slow dance. I've been doing that a lot because I love that interaction. And I want to say in my last part with Joel and Dahlia on their like romantic getaway, I had them slow dance and I think they were kind of glitchy because it was not working the way it was supposed to. Here, when I get Blair and Percy to dance, they actually do have those little like extra interactions where it's like chat while dancing or kiss while dancing. So I was really happy to see that. I don't really know what's going on with my game. It's probably some mods or CC I have where some interactions just don't work the way they need to. But yeah, I guess that's just how The Sims is at this point with how many expansions we have. And then I also do use a lot of mods. So some of it is my own fault, but I was really happy to see them slow dance. It looked a lot better in this part. But yeah, that's kind of how we end the part here with Blair and Percy and Piper. And then we're going to scoot over to Joel and Dahlia. So I'm really excited to play with them again and just have like a chill day at the house. Ash does have school today, but Joel and Dahlia both don't have work. So they're kind of around the house just hanging out. And I'm just excited to kind of catch up with them and see what they're up to. For Joel, I'm going to be working on his aspiration a little bit more, and we're going to try to successfully train out some misbehaviors in Jax and just kind of bond with him some more. So he's starting out with that, kind of like giving Jax some attention. And then Dahlia's having some breakfast, and I do get her a gig because she needs to kind of work on her career some more. I've been slacking with it, but she is maxed in it, so once I max a career, I kind of like lose interest, I guess. But yeah, we'll go and get her a gig for the next day. And then I do want Joel to go ahead and make some breakfast because he was going to have a piece of cake, but I wanted him to make something healthy for his son. So he's going to make some breakfast, and Ash will get up soon and start getting ready for the day. It was really cute to see Dahlia right by Joel as he was making breakfast. I had her go and compliment her appearance, and then he stopped cooking, so I was kind of like thinking that he was just so infatuated with Dahlia that he like stopped his cooking and everything he was doing. But we got him to finish breakfast, and the family had a nice little meal before Ash went out to school. And he was kind of spending some time with Jax too because Jax is like his best friend. So yeah, but then he heads off to school a little bit later. And I'm having Joel kind of work on some drinks because they just got back from their romantic trip to Tartosa, and he's kind of like working on new drinks that he got inspired while he was there. And then Dahlia's been doing some yoga as well. It's kind of helping her work on her wellness and just like self-care and all that. And then I have Joel go for a jog with Jax just to get him out of the house since he is very energetic. But of course, we get stuck and Joel is like running in circles. Yeah, he likes to do that a lot. So anyway, we eventually bring him back from that jog, but Dahlia makes some coffee and I want her to write a interior decorator article. I was trying to get her to drink the coffee while she was writing her article. I thought that would be really cool, but it ends up not being the case. She writes her article and then she drinks her coffee. But that's okay, you know, it's there for her. Maybe it was too hot, she had to let it cool down, you know? But here Arielle is calling Joel. I thought it was so cute. She wanted to have another baby and I said no. All my households always want to have a baby because they're always so in love with each other and I try to keep their relationship really high. But I feel so bad because I'm like, I don't want any more babies because the legacy is already too big. But Dahlia finishes her article. It did not go over too well, unfortunately. But then she gets her coffee and she gets some incense going because I want to work on her aspiration a little bit more. And maybe she got stressed because her article didn't do that good. So smelling that incense probably calmed her a bit. And Joel invited over his friends River and Darian and they played some basketball outside. When they have the free time, they like to get together and play basketball or video games or whatever. So they're doing like a little dunks challenge outside. And Dahlia is just going to kind of tidy the house. She's kind of spending time with Jax as well. She's definitely taken a liking to him a lot more. And she was trying to train him there, but then he just sprints off, which I thought was funny. You know how dogs always have like one certain person that they're obsessed with? It's definitely not Dahlia. I thought this was pretty cool where Joel slam dunked the basketball and then Rivers was on fire for some reason. So they get pretty crazy out there on the basketball court. Dahlia starts dinner and Joel comes in to work on making some drinks. And then Jax is here in this little paint splatter making a mess. That kind of works out though because then maybe we can work out one of those misbehaviors. And for dinner, I had Dahlia make one of the newer recipes we have. And I am kind of weird about different recipes because I feel like, you know, would she actually make this? Like, is it something that she would make? If that makes sense when it's like a different culture, however. But I think that's kind of silly that I think that way. Also, like maybe she was looking up recipes when she was working on her article and found a cool recipe. But anyway, then we're going to move over to the boys and they're kind of just having a drink and hanging out after their basketball session. Joel is like congratulating Darian on the engagement and all this, you know, these new interactions because they still haven't gotten married, him and his, you know, fiance. When he first asks or talks to him, he seems so stressed out and then River is kind of like over it too. He kind of like, you know, face palms or whatever. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I definitely want them to have a wedding and I want Joel and Dahlia to be a part of it. I think that'd be so fun. So I'm planning that at some point. But yeah, I don't know. There's some drama going on with Darian and his fiance. It's going to be an interesting wedding, I feel like. But Ash invites over his friend, I think his name is Caden, I need to double check that. But he invites him over and they're gonna do some homework together. And then Joel actually went and made some nectar at the bar or the mixology station. I think he's been working on, you know, perfecting his own nectar to serve at his bar. But he made corn nectar, which sounds really gross. So that probably won't be the one that he serves. But yeah, he's kind of trying out different types of nectar.
Tavo! Glumba Forba. And Zabi.
Beepsa. Oh moy, Jabby John. Gorbe smooth.
Me bored.
Oh.
And then Ash gets his homework done and he comes in to play some video games with Caden. Joel is training Jax a little bit more and just bonding with him. I actually really liked putting this video together because these are pretty much just typical day in the lives of these different households. And sometimes with like longer parts with one household, I like try to think up more things to do. But this was just kind of like how I play, you know, day to day when I'm just playing on my own. So yeah, it was kind of fun to do it this way. And you guys will have to let me know if you enjoyed this video where you get to see 3 different households, like one day in their life. But anyway, a little later, Dahlia does some vacuuming to end the night. She always has to have like a tidy house before she goes to bed. Oh, and then Finn does come over, which I thought was really cool. He just does like a surprise visit. So Joel invites him in and like kind of catches up, and then Ash eventually goes down and says hi to his grandpa.
Grandma, you know. Naba.
Sharif, Tayami, Lahoy.
And we finally get Jax to quit playing in puddles, so that's really awesome. That works towards Joel's aspiration. And I know we also become a companion a little bit later in this part, or in this day. Yeah, here Ash is saying hi to his grandpa. He really loves him and is happy to have him over. And then Jax is right there too. He's so cute. He never leaves Ash's side. Ash says goodnight to his grandpa and his parents and Jax and heads to bed. And then this is where Joel becomes a companion with Jax. And then I have Joel and Dahlia go ahead and woohoo, but I definitely make sure to have Finn go home before then because, yeah, that'd be a little awkward. So, yeah, Finn heads out, and this is where we end this day for this household. We are going to move over to Arielle and Rudy. So for this family, they all do have school and work today. It's going to be a little bit shorter because we're going to kind of speed through the part where they're all gone. But yes, we start out with Andrew already in a phase or, you know, going through a mood swing. So that kind of sets up how this part is going to go. I was definitely worried when we loaded into this household because I'm like, oh no, Andrew's going to be, you know, having one of his moods. And the way he walks to school is so funny. And then poor Aiden, he's like tired. It's too early. He doesn't want to deal with his brother's mood swings, but he's still a good sport and he heads off to school as well. And then Rudy and Arielle have a little moment here because I feel like I don't get to kind of build up their romance a lot. They have such busy lives and, you know, their kids are a full-time job at this point. They haven't really got to go on like a romantic trip. I feel like I've taken all my other couples on one so far. And then like Finn and Leah just had their vow renewal. So poor Arielle and Rudy, they're having a harder time, I think. But then we fast forward and Andrew gets home. He does invite over Caleb. And it is the Geek Con Fest or whatever, Geek Con I think. So Andrew invites over all his friends, which is Naomi, Caleb, and Paige. And then I get the idea that, yeah, Paige and Caleb's parents drive them to Geek Con for the evening. I get the feeling that Caleb and Paige's parents are a little more lenient and like relaxed, like as their parenting style. And I think Andrew sees that and he's like kind of jealous, and then he gets kind of upset with his own parents because they're a lot more strict and really want him to do well in school and all that. So I think that's also another reason he kind of has some tension with Arielle and Rudy. But yeah, they make it here at GeekCon and they're playing some video games and just having a fun time out. Andrew orders a hamburger and tries to get some alone time with Naomi. I'm still holding out for the First Crush add-on for the preteen pack. I really want them to get a little bit closer and like have a crush on each other. The only interaction I have is I can give romantic gifts, so I've been giving Naomi these flowers like every time they're together. I think she's getting sick of them though because she did not like this flower this time. Andrew makes it back and Arielle is like waiting in his room, so I get the idea that she, you know, is just making sure he's gonna do his homework because it's not like he snuck out. She allowed him to go out and wanted him to have a fun time, but she's like making sure he still gets his homework done because it can't be all fun and games. It has to also be like, you know, work as well. And he actually comes into this other room. I think he's kind of annoyed that she's, you know, there making sure he gets it done. But she goes over to Aiden too, and he doesn't mind at all. It's just Andrew that's like kind of annoyed with his mom. But yeah, she's just kind of checking in, probably asking how his day was, how going out to GeekCon was, and wanting to know all the details, and also trying to help him with his homework. But Rudy makes some steaks for dinner, and I really want them to have a nice little dinner together. It makes me happy to see them all together and have a nice drink and a nice meal.
Zarb's canoe.
And Arielle definitely like called Andrew down to have dinner, but he was like, okay, fine, I'll come down, but I'm not gonna sit. Like, he did not want to sit at the table. It was so funny. Trying to participate, you know, enough to not get yelled at, but he doesn't really want to be there. So he's just standing and watching them all have a great, you know, little dinner together. But he heads up pretty quick once he's done. He's not sticking around. But Arielle and Rudy clean up, and then all the kids head to bed, and they kind of spend the night woohooing so they can, you know, get their romance up again. And then little Lola is sleeping on the couch. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this part. It was super fun to play the 3 different households and put it in one part. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Please let me know if you did, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!